Welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. In today's topic, this trans woman stabs a black man in a Brooklyn Deli to death. And the added part of this black woman, additionally, was making excuses for this white Hispanic trans woman. The hatred of the black male, especially the American black male, is at epidemic levels. When I first saw this particular video, and I was like, there's no way that this should have not been showcased a lot, and national outrage should have been put forth toward this, but it wasn't. Only various types of sectionality or certain regionalness up in New York City was it showed in some little parts here and there in some other places. But the level it should have been on, it should have been beyond nationwide. It should have been shown and still should be shown on various types of, even though it's still not that many collectively, but on various types of black media-ness. Because if this was a trans or biological male that formed over to a trans woman, and he sit there and did that, and a black male did that to this trans woman, it would have been gigantic outrage. Unfortunately, there is millions of American black males, with very few exceptions, that still don't get it through many numbers of American black males' mentality. There is a warness upon black males, regardless. Yes, yes, yes. Danger toward the American black man is happening every day. And even more will be happening in 2025. Because still, you got quite a number of American black males that still don't realize the hatred that quite a number of people have. Be it by certain numbers of people within Panamanian culture, be it within white Hispanicism, by certain section of Asians, the one this applies to. There are ones within certain parts of what we call Native Americans, the ones it applies to. The ones that have hatred for American blacks, numbers of immigrationists who know they ought to have a hatred for American black, but will use American blacks. Border breaking illegal immigrant numbers of personnel who have a disdain for American blacks, but are sitting there using American blacks, right? And playing people of color minority games. Let me go ahead and play this first initial video. But before I do this, I want you to keep in mind how they will not say trans, right? They will just say woman, or don't say anything. But if it was vice versa, it'll be, oh my goodness, this male, especially black male, he stabbed, he juked this trans woman. You said his goals, right? If you don't know the discussing game, they'll keep playing these little discussing little games and minimizing games, right? Keeps happening every day. And then, like I said, I was want to say, additionally, there was a black woman, and don't get it confused like anything else, like within certain types of transness, there are some good people and there are some bad people, right? There are certain numbers of American black women that are beautiful, right? Good-hearted. But those numbers are slowly dwindling more. and going to more white feminism and showing more misogynistic toward the black male. But numbers of American black women, the ones it applies to, expect black males, American black males, to keep tolerating it and keep dealing with it. You talking about some screwed up mentality. But this is the kind of stuff that continues to happen toward the American black male. I'm not talking about sellouts and gullibles and naive ones, by the way, right? But this black woman that I'm also going to show had the audacity to make excuses for this demonic creature violently who stabbed this black male father to death. And it's happened to be under transness of category, right? And that person is very violent, had a violent past, actually continues to have a violent present, right? Because they just stabbed the black male. Today is January the 23rd, 2025. And by the way, this happened prior to Trumpism getting to office, right? Because remember as well, oh my goodness, what are we going to do for, what's the word for trans, relating to this topic? We got to protect the trans, right? Oh, but those black males, oh, to hell with those black males, right? Oh, they got to be on their own, right? This is what various parts of society be doing. But at the same time, what does that say? The Biden-Harris administration announces new actions to protect L-ness, G-ness, B-ness, T-ness, Q-ness plus communities. What? What? But in this topic, right, this trans woman, biological male before, stabs a black man, American black man, in a Brooklyn Deli in Detroit, Brooklyn Deli, to death. And this black woman makes excuses for it. Oh my goodness gracious. Blame the black male, right? No protections for the American black man. The most hated male in society is the black male, right? The most hated. Well, they shouldn't be commit. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? They should stop, commit so many crimes. Man, you don't go to heck with that. Well, they do, because they should look around. Black men always committing crime. Man, you don't take your little nonsensical, demonic, additional self somewhere and go to hell with that tactic, right? The number one males who commit the most crimes is numbers of males within the Panamese culture. Try that again, right? But again, this right here, the Biden-Harris administration announces new actions to protect L-ness, G-ness, B-ness, Q-ness, L-ness, G-ness, B-ness, T-ness, Q-ness communities, right? Just like the blaming of black males when Trumpism, right, has been now, is in office now, right? Oh my goodness. Because of the black male vote for Trump. First of all, with that piece of dot crop weed, bad weed somebody smoking or something, the majority collective of black males who voted in the 2024 presidential U.S. elections did not vote for Trump with that piece of crap little switchery tactic. The majority of black males in the U.S. presidential election 2024 voted for Kamala. So get out of here with that damn tactic. And more numbers of American black males about to stop tolerating this old nonsense crap from people, including certain types of selloutism American black women, the ones it applies to, right? So watch this for a second here. So let me go ahead and play this. Let me play this video here. Give me one moment. 1 second here. I'll play that one first. 1 moment. Okay, here we go. Let me sure get that right. Hold on. Okay.
New details surrounding the stabbing death of a U.S. postal worker in a deli. Police have identified the 24-year-old suspect who's charged with second-degree murder. An employee also tells us the two were regular customers who had no history of disputes in the past. Christy Collegian has the story from Harlem.
We're hearing from an employee who tells us exactly how this all unfolded. He says it started right here while the two were waiting in line, fighting over who was first in line. Then
Wait. See the game with it. Give me a second here. See, that was an initial game. Who was in line first? Wrong. Right. So you got to watch people on the switchery, right? Because this is a black male. You got to blame this black male first, right? Now, we're going to sidestep that this violent trans woman, this one, violently juked this black male, a father of 1 to 2 kids, trying to take care of his family, right? An overall good guy, right? Will Good is bypass that, right? That this trans violent woman did, right? Mm-hmm.
Then that argument spilled over here to where the coffee machine is and got physical. And here's some new video of 24-year-old Jaya Cruz, who
Jaya demonic murderous Cruz, right? This white Hispanic killer of a black male with their hatred. And I'm going to show you in a little bit how you have this silliness of this particular black woman that was making excuses for this violent woman. Oh, excuse me, violent trans woman, biological born male, right? You see how this game goes, right? And again, just like anything else, you got good people, you have bad people. You got good numbers of trans, you got bad numbers of trans. And I'm getting into all the lifestyle. That's how the person is, right? Because you got good types of people that's straight people. You got some bad people that's straight people. So we're not going to play that tactic. I'm not getting into all that other stuff, right? I'm just relating to this topic right here, that this was a violent trans woman in this USness on this situation. And if it was vice versa, and a black male, especially American black male, and he stabbed to fatality of a white Hispanic trans, oh my goodness, right? Let's continue.
police identify as who allegedly stabbed to death 36-year-old Ray Hodges, a U.S. postal worker. And this employee tells us that it seemed as though Hodges was here first.
Whoa, wait a minute now. What did they say? That violent white Hispanic trans woman, right? She was first, right?
Just was here first.
What
and
was
then
that
Cruz
again? Hold on.
Employee tells us that it seemed as though Hodges was here first, and then Cruz crossed in front of him, and it sparked a whole argument.
She was there
Here,
first,
take a
right?
listen. And this employee tells us that it seemed as though Hodges was here first, and then Cruz crossed in front of him, and it sparked a whole argument. Here, take a listen. In front of him, and it sparked a whole argument. Tells us that it seemed as though Hodges was here first, and then Cruz crossed in front of him, and it sparked a whole argument. Here, take a listen to what he said.
I separate them. The male guy in the front, the lady, she was in the back. She's spilling him. In his face.
By the way, what? If you can understand what he was saying.
She's spilling him.
Wait.
She's spilling him.
If you didn't understand that demonic trans white Hispanic he she woman, biological male, transformed over to trans woman, spit on this black male. Oh my goodness. That's probably the top 5 things of disrespect you do toward a black male. You spit in his face. And this white Hispanicism, who probably classify themselves as white, right? Probably thinks of themselves as white. She spit on this black male and then juked him to death.
In his face. And male guy, he get mad. She split him. So he was lemon juice next to the coffee machine. He threw it on her. So she took the knife. This is so bad. This is my first time I see this happen from my face.
But at the same time, the Biden-Harris administration announces new actions to protect L-ness, G-ness, B-ness, Q-ness, L-ness, G-ness, B-ness, T-ness, Q-ness, plus communities. What a insult, right? What a insult. nothing, they hear nothing, and they know nothing, right? Now, unless it's a black male that does some wrong things, you see how this disgusting tactic goes, right? What's the excuses? The Biden-Harris administration announced a new communities. And they're not talking about, by the way, blackness. And that's a whole different topic in itself, because there are some gullible ones within blackness, L-ness, G-ness, B-ness, T-ness, Q-ness plus that keep thinking that this category is, that this system with Americanism talking about them. They're not talking about that blackness versions who that they have experienced hatefulness by numbers of Hispanicism, you get the point, etc. Right? But you ain't gonna hear too much about that, right? They keep that part quiet. But at the same time, you know, we're gonna pretend again and see what you see, or what you hear, or what you see, or what you right? Mm-hmm. Yes. Remember, I was sitting there saying that that black woman, the vileness of this black woman who's making excuses for this demonic, vile, white, Hispanic, trans, not good trans forming to from a biological male to this a trans woman. This black woman made excuses for what that vile creature did to that black man. Let's go play. And you see how fast they will be making excuses in America. And the most minimized. And I'm not talking about sellouts and gullible ones. Here we go.
I'm coming at y'all sick, legitimately with COVID. But I see that some of the and address, explain, and clarify some things.
I mean, just something about their aura. Right?
So let me say this first and foremost. As it pertains to the story around Jaya, for those of you all who don't know, there was a trans woman who has been arrested, and she was arrested because she stabbed a man to death in New York. And it was in a bodega after what people are saying is what I believe a lot of the girls don't believe to be the full story.
Now I want you to look at some of his comments on the right side here. Let me see. Okay. It says, you are literally the only one posting, being unbiased and realistic. A lot of something people are bashing so much. It's just evil. What do you?
Right. Considering that if you are a trans woman, or if you're a woman in general, to be perfectly honest, you understand and you know the lengths that men will go to protect themselves. And I think that that's a part of the reason why this narrative is so difficult for a lot of people to understand and to grasp, because we understand as women, no matter what kind of woman you are, that when men commit provoking acts of violence and then those men fall victim to that violence that they provoked, oftentimes the woman is deemed as the crazy one.
Man, I don't want to hear nothing else from that bull crap of that nonsense person, this black woman, or if she's trans themselves, who knows, who cares on this situation. But I'm saying that you hear this nonsense that filled out that vile mouth of hers, right? Misogynistic ass mouth of hers, right? Anti-American black maleness, right? That trans white Hispanic, she from biological male to woman, stabbed that black male to death. And that black woman, American black woman, or she's a trans black woman, whoever she is, made excuses for that. Do you hear that bull crowd? Well, let me sit there and show you something else. Give me a second here. Give me a second. 1 second. Oh, here we go. Let me sit there and show you something else. Now, keep that in mind what she was making excuses for, right? Well, we really don't know because, it's so much violence toward trans women and women in general, right? That old sick piece of crap of rhetoric, anti-American black rhetoric. This is why also numbers of more American black males are just saying, they're not going to even deal with certain numbers of American black women anymore. Once applies to, right? Because there are some good American black women. But it's like black males ain't got dang freaking time to be trying to figure out who's good, who's not. It's like the hell with all that, right? If you're good, you better start approaching more black males. Right now, there will be some black males that will just sweat regardless, right? And unfortunately, there's too many stories on that situation that numbers of black male simps have been used all consistently all over the place with very few exceptions. So let me sit there and show you something. Give me a second here. Give me 1 second. Girl. Now remember, keep with that little disturbing, disgusting mouth of that particular black woman, what her misogynistic mouth of hers, by her actionable mouth, with that old minimizing stuff toward the black male and stuff like that he got stabbed to death by this violent biological male, trans to woman, right? White Hispanic, and that black woman that you heard, unless she's black trans herself, that she made excuses for it. But if it was vice versa, she wouldn't do that. More American black males better wake the hell up with this stuff. Give me a second. Where's this thing at? There we go. All right. Let's see here. What did that say? Jaya Cruz. Hold on. Jaya Cruz accused of stabbing a black postal worker, by the way. We're not going to minimize that. To death over a spotting line at a Harlem deli yesterday has a history of night violence. Let's read this again. New Jaya white Hispanic Cruz accused of stabbing a black or American black postal worker to death over a spot in line at a Harlem deli yesterday has a history of night violence. Oh, but you see that piece of crap, right? That gives an insult to the good numbers of American black women, right? Who would not minimize that deranged, crazed white Hispanic killer of that black male, right? They would not sit there and minimize that white Hispanic transforming from biological male to trans woman. They wouldn't do no stuff like that. But again, the good American black women, they are dwindling, right? What does that say? Ray Hodges, an on-duty USP, United States Post Office letter carrier, was grabbing lunch when he skipped the line directly in front of Cruz. I wanted to show that as well, because you see that game. They saying something first, and they switch up with the anti-American black rhetoric. Ray Cruz, an on-duty USPS, United States Post Office letter carrier, was grabbing lunch when he skipped the line directly in front of Cruz. Oh my goodness. What did you hear in that video? And I'm playing it with video one more time from that newscast, right? As a timepiece purpose, and fair uses doctrine, right? It talked about how that white demon hatred feel white Hispanic trans woman, right? Biological male first, skip the line. You see how that goes? See, this wise it is essential to sit there and relate over correct information, right? On this. The last sentence says what? Cruz, white Hispanic Cruz, was arrested at least 5 times before the attack. Let me read that last sentence. White Hispanic demonic actions, anti-American black, biological male transformed over to white Hispanic trans woman, Cruz, was arrested at least 5 times before the attack. But you got that blatant misogynistic mouth or that minimizing anti-American black rhetoric from that black woman, or she's a trans black woman that made that minimization of that piece of crap ass rhetoric. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This a per se, if it kind of allegedly happened, that woman, that trans woman, she stabbed, that male, but it's not the real story because it's so much stuff going on with trans people, trans women, especially women. You see the disgusting tactics that continue to keep happening, right? It's toward American black males. Again, I'm not talking about sellouts and gullible ones, but this is what continues to keep happening, right? See, now the question would be asked to that to the same little hateful little black woman, right? Again, that made no excuses about that violent white Hispanic trans biological male transed over to white Hispanic trans. See, the question is, watch this for a second. Watch this. Watch this.
To suffer with. Damn demons, bro. You can't even talk. Look at that. Damn demon, bro.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What's the excuse then of that minimizing black woman? What's the excuse then? Huh? Oh my, is this a trans? This is a trans, isn't it? Right? Is this not a trans from biological male to trans? Obviously, you got a different version of trans womanism, right? That Jaya Cruz, right? White Hispanic Cruz, that's one type of trans woman. This right here, this piece of donkey shit of a white, trans, right, person, right? But obviously with the male features on this situation, right, just having women clothes on, and you see the spitting upon these particular black men that was doing their stuff out there relating to information, right? What's the excuse now? Huh? But remember, for Biden, Harris administration announces new actions to protect L-ness, G-ness, B-ness, T-ness, Q plus communities. You see, but at the same time, the blaming of black males, oh my goodness, the Trumpism is coming to effect, right? Because this is the last great white hope for certain numbers of males and some females within the predominant culture, and some other ones, right, that want to be like certain people within the predominant culture because they look at it as their gods. And like anything else, you got some bad ones within certain parts of predominant culture, and you got some okay people, right? Like anything else. You got some personnel within American black that will stab you behind your back just as soon as you look one direction. Don't get confused with jealousy, right? And hatred. Not the kind of hatred that Ku Klux Klan have, right? And people that have that mentality like that, but a type of hatred as well, right? And there are some good numbers of American black people out there that will do for each other, right? That better get more on code as well, because there's more hatred going to be going toward American blacks, especially American black males. I'm telling you what's going to be happening. And American black males about to start getting on point even more. But I'm just sitting there showing you the hypocrisy here, right? Even though American black males predominantly in a 2024 presidential election voted collectively more for Kamala Harris, and you still have people playing these little silly ass games acting like they didn't. There are ones who know. There are numbers of American black women who know the American black males voted for predominantly Kamala Harris, and they know, and there are some good ones, some. And there are some ones that know that truth, what I say is the truth, but they playing devious, demonic ass games because they got to try to blame. And there are some naive ones, right? They don't even know the majority of black males voted for Kamala, right? But at the same time, just regurgitating, oh my goodness, see, that's what happens, black males, that's what you get. You shouldn't have voted for Kamala. I mean, you should have voted, you shouldn't have voted for Trump. Go to hell. The majority of black males voted for Kamala. See, American black males, by the predominance, right? Better stop being naive. Talking about the ones this applies to, because there are some good ones, good black males, very small amount that know the game, right? That know the game. Let's continue.
To suffer with. Damn demons, bro. You can't even talk. Look at that. Damn demon, bro. Oh, 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 shit.
Lift down fire.
To suffer with. Damn demons, bro. You can't even talk. Look at that. Damn demon, bro. Oh, 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 shit.
The hatred of American black males in general. Well, excuse me, black males, but specifically American black males in general, catches so much hatred, but can't get no American, anti-American, and no type of anti-American black hatred crime bill like they did for the Asians. Within the last 4 years prior to Trumpism getting in office, right? People have 4 years to do an anti-American black hate crime bill like they did the Asians. And again, I'm not talking about the good numbers of Asians out there who know they are, because they know also there's a caste system Asianism where there are certain numbers of Asians at a certain type level that hate the guts of certain other Asians. Don't get the stuff confused, right? But you see the point I'm getting to this topic, right? The people who know would know. You see the hypocrisy is going on, right? No anti-American black hate crime bill, right? For the most personnel who is put upon the most destructive hatred of anybody that's in America for generations, right? Of no break in time, right? The most hated, the most hate crimes put upon is toward American blacks, the American black males specifically, and no anti-American hate crime bill, and no anti-American black hate crime bill. You see how this goes, right? Oh my goodness, but laws and policies for we must protect L-ness and G-ness and B-ness and Q-ness and plus and odd and 3 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, 9, 10, 3, 5, X and T3, 5 and 4, X and G3, 5, 3. You see the point, right? And you got numbers of American blacks just sitting there powerlessness collectively by the millions, with very few exceptions that know the game. And this is why millions of American blacks are going to go through more black pain, because not enough is they're not taught enough of allowing people to continuously disrespect American blacks, right? But at the same time, right? Let me sit there and show you something again. Hold on. Give me 1 second. But at the same time, right? You must protect the L-ness and G-ness and B-ness and Q-ness and plus, and you got the point, right? Let me sit there and show you something else. So I'm almost finished. You see this right here? Look at that. Whatever AVP supports L-ness, G-ness, B-ness, T-ness, Q plus criminalized survivors. AVP supports trans women of color. Oh my goodness. Whose lives in existence are consistently threatened. Jaya White Hispanic Cruz. Do you see the hypocrisy? It's almost like they are laughing at American blacks specifically, with very few exceptions who know these little disgusting tactics. And Jaya White Hispanic Cruz, a violent murderer, violent attacker. Were they saying that she at least 5 other whatever knife attacks or whatever, they several other attacks toward however people, right? Fighting against cops and stuff like that as well, right? But they don't want to talk about that, like that little sellout black woman or American black woman, or at least she's a trans black woman that I showed you earlier that was making excuses for this murderous white Hispanic biological male transformed to a white Hispanic trans woman. You see these games, right? And then use the word women of color. Oh my goodness. And so many numbers of black women, specifically American black women, talking about people of color to a minority, and they getting laughed at as well. But I just want to sit there and show you that. And I'm gonna play that video, the first video, one last time. Give me 1 second. Let me go back here. Let me play that video one last time about that first video that showed what happened. Give me 1 second. This is so ridiculous. One time. Okay, give me a second here. Get that right again.
Bronx family tonight mourning the death of a father who was fatally stabbed Thursday while ordering a deli sandwich. Loved ones say that it happened while he was on the job as a mail carrier. And they say that he took that job to get out of poverty, never thinking this would happen. John Diaz spoke with family members.
A makeshift memorial continues.
Actually, I think this is a different one, but same concept.
To grow outside the home of 36-year-old Ray Hodge with his United States Postal Service hat in the middle. Loved ones lighting candles and hanging photos of the Bronx man who was a father of 2.
It's just messed up that the family got to go through this.
This man says he grew up with Hodge.
He was trying to just make some money. You know, that's it. Just getting up, doing what he got to do to provide for his kids.
Hodge's brother echoing that in a statement, saying, quote, he was an honorable and respectful man who took care of his family. Police say while on the job as a mail carrier, Hodge was fatally stabbed Thursday when he was ordering a sandwich at a deli in Harlem.
Why? Like, senseless.
They took one of the good ones from us and all that.
One of the good ones was taken away by this demonic demon, white Hispanic, biological male transformed over to a white Hispanic trans woman. And this didn't even go nationwide as it should, to show the violentness of certain numbers of trans people as well, and the hatred that certain ones have. Talking about the ones applies to. Because like anything else, there are some good people regardless of lifestyle categories or heterosexualness categories. It doesn't matter. There are some good people and some bad people. But the thing about it is, Jaya Cruz, the white Hispanic murderous biological male transformed over to a trans woman, is a murderer. And she did that to a black male who was a father, a good hard worker. At the same time, if it would have been vice versa, there'd have been gigantic outrage. So I thank you. I thank you for tuning in to the Real CP show.